Welcome to the Come Join the High Life podcast, home of the hustlers, the innovators, the gifted, and the honorable, where we stay high on love, high on impact, high on faith, and high on energy. So if that sounds like you or what you represent, you're definitely in the right place. Welcome to the Come Join the High Life podcast. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of the Come Join the High Life podcast. I am your host, Mr. High Life Films.
And I am your lady, Tramika.
Yes, and it's a beautiful, beautiful day. I hope everyone is having an amazing day so far. How you doing today?
I'm wonderful.
I love that shirt.
Yes, I love me some me. Shout out to Miss Shakita.
Hey, you better love you some you, but nobody don't love you. You better love you. That's for sure. I'm feeling pretty good today. We're on day 24 of the 75 Hard Challenge.
Actually, 25.
25. See, they running together. I don't know where I'm at right now.
We got a whole year, y'all. We're going to be on this thing 365. You want to tell me that?
Hey, I ain't commit to that. I guess I did not. So today is like I said, it's a wonderful day, and I got one of my friends with us today. She's a content strategist. She owns her own production company. She's a mompreneur, and she knows a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to AI. So I think you guys want to get close, get you some coffee, get you some popcorn, whatever you need. Get your notepad, get your pen, get your headphones, whatever you need, and get ready. Because I got my friend Liberty White. How you doing today, Liberty?
Hey everyone, thank you so much for having me, Mr. High Life and Tramika. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with y'all.
Yes, we're excited for you being here with us. We're excited to, learn a little bit about AI and the things that, you have going on. And so we're definitely excited on teaching the audience or letting the audience know exactly how they can actually use AI.
For sure. So before we get started, can you tell everybody who you are, what you do, and what you got going on?
Yes, I can. Hey, everyone. I'm Liberty White. I'm a content clarity strategist. So what that means is when you're, whether it be social or just your overall marketing planning, you're like, where do I begin? What does my content even look like? Typically, that's when the phone rings. I'm the founder of Chosen Media, and we are a video marketing agency. So we are typically contracted to support in those areas of developing strategy around content and or actually coming on site and helping people with their events. So I've been doing that 15 plus years, but just been in the media for such a long time. And then now, as you alluded to, this entrance of AI, which is not new if you really think about it, because if you use Siri, that's AI. If you use Alexa, that's AI. If you use Netflix, that's AI. It's every time you watch a movie, a show, it's now learning you. Artificial intelligence, basically machines are learning based on your choices, your preferences, keywords, all of the things, so that therein, based on what Netflix is, the platform is like, oh, well, you know what? You watch a lot of Black rom-com. Here's a new one that came out, and continuing to suggest that to you. So it's been out from that perspective for a long time. It's decades old. However, because of OpenAI, the fall of 2022, that ChatGPT was really the more popular consumer-facing tool of AI, where now people are actually able to go in and actually create a task and personal assistants, not the other way around, because that's all the other companies, them Alexas and whatnot, us interacting with it, but we couldn't necessarily do our own thing. And that's what ChatGPT, the Bings of the world now, Copilot with Microsoft has done for us. So you see I'm already geeking out, but yes, there it is.
Awesome. And I love how you broke that down, in regards to, the Netflix, the Siri, the Alexa, even Google, is
Right.
form, of AI, and it's just collecting data. And so I mean that's interesting because nowadays we're now getting familiar with ChatGPT. but AI has always been around
That's
for
usually how it goes.
decades.
That's usually how it goes. I mean, the government been using AI.
Been
You
using
know what I'm
it.
saying? Well, we
Sir.
oh,
Right.
I'm just saying. But now they give us something to play with. Like, for example, drones. Drones been around for a long time, but now we just got them where the consumer can play around with them, and now we got now they let us play with them now because they so far ahead, and that's why I
Exactly.
love. It's kind of like AI. It's kind of like helping the playing field get a little bit more even. No more gatekeeping kind of. It's like all I gotta do is have a good. It's all about the questions that you ask. Am I right?
Right. Right. You're so bang on. And I love how you phrase that, Shamika, how you said the data part of things. So being that it's all about data collection and how that is parsed and how it's put together and how it's segmented, and then to the idea of it leveling the playing field. And this is why I've been going hard for tech because I'm a Black woman in tech. So I've been going hard for that for years. But in this regards, it's like the internet all over again. So while the internet was decades old back in like the early 90s and be earlier than that, but now people were able to use HTML and create a web page. And so if you had those skills, you're building websites or you're building e-commerce even to a degree back then. So now with the different large learning languages modules, that then people are now able to, oh wait, I can do this. There's, to your point, there's no gatekeeping there, and people are now able to, either you're saving time because now you're not sitting down and you're crafting your emails from scratch every single time. You're like, hey, here's my template. Write something new, and whatever your prompt is. And prompt is basically the way that you are informing the chatbot on the task at hand and what you want it to do. So it's now making it more plausible or more easier for people to, hey, uh are you going to save me time? Are you going to actually help me with my content creation and help speed up that process? Like, I hate writing XYZ, and now you're able to. Or I'm not strong at writing scripts. Can you? And having the right prompts, knowing how to train your chatbot, then that's just making you all the more efficient. And that's part of why I do all of these workshops, why I have these accelerator programs, because right now, it with each day that passes by, it's getting more and more sophisticated. And the longer it takes for you, you don't have to know everything. You do not have to know every single chatbot that's out there. However, if you're able to understand how it works, like I'll share this story of my daughter, and she's now 9, but we've always taught her, how do you solve the problem? Like critical thinking skills. So her Apple Watch was not working. Her dad gave it to her. The watch works, but we were no longer able to send messages, and that's because mommy signed out and forgot the password. So, my bad. But we went to the Apple store, and they were unable to figure out how, in that time, I should say, they were unable to figure it out. Well, a week later, she comes running up to me and like, mommy, check your phone. I sent you a message. I fixed it. And here it is. There are messages from her that day. She's all excited. She's at school sending me messages. I'm like, little girl, I'm gonna need you, please pay attention in school. Yes, but she figured it out. And much like us, like our ability to figure out how to make these things work for us so that we can, as the saying is, get to the bag faster. Get to the bank. How about that? No more bags. Get to the bank faster.
And it's funny that you said that. I'm gonna get back to about the daughter and the mompreneur part, but about when ChatGPT, for example, when it came out, I know a lot of creatives were like, "Oh, this gonna put me out of business." So my thing was, I felt like AI was something like a tool that would, if you knew how to really interact with it, it wouldn't do nothing but enhance what you do. It's not like saying, "Okay, oh, hey, ChatGPT, write me a book." Boom, right? It writes you a book. You don't put no input into it. You're just gonna, you're gonna let it do what it do, or you're gonna put some input and say, "Oh, I don't talk like that," or "Don't say it that way, say it this way." And
Exactly.
like, how important is that to like the creators who think that AI is gonna take over, gonna take my job? How is that true, or how is that not true?
Yeah, so that's a great question because
Whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy, Mr. Highlight Films. I know you're enjoying this episode, but I just wanted to pause for the cause real quick and let you know that this episode is brought to you by Highlight Films and Photography, the #1 real estate photography company here in Jacksonville, Florida, where we specialize in listing photos, investment photos, 3D virtual tours, aerial photos, and everything real estate content creation related. So if you're a realtor, you're a broker, you're a course creator, or you just need some more content to get you some more clients, hey, this is the place to be. You can check out some of our work at www.ComeJoinTheHighLife.com. Come join the High Life. Now back to this episode. And
Exactly.
like, how important is that to like the creators who think that, you know, AI is going to take over, going to take my job? How is that true or how is that not true?
Yeah, so that's a great question because at first glance, like if you think about every form of change, transformation, or technology, it always goes through that, initial phase of fear and just like uncertainty. And to your point, everybody was, doing these prompts, make me $1 million. Oh my goodness, the blueprint's here. However, you still got to do the work. You still got to, and one size, like one response does not fit all. So when you think about just the jobs, will there be job loss? Will there be certain people who will be displaced? The answer is yes, because there are tasks that are now okay. If someone can just have one individual working with a chatbot and going through that, and it's more than just a chatbot, because there's all these different softwares and tools out there now. So you have to go beyond some of your skill set. What's the next level of understanding how to use the chatbots, to use the tools to be more efficient? That's where the money is. That's where the job opportunity is to understand the saying is prompt. One of them, I should say, is prompt engineering. So being able to understand how to ask the right questions, how to frame it. On the back end of these chatbots, there are things called tokens, and that's what actually is, if you want to think of it as, let's just think of it from a cash perspective. So every time you put in a request, or every time, depending on how complex it is and how far out it goes to use the data, well, so many tokens are used. So do you understand how to prompt in a way that you're not using a lot of tokens? So it starts getting a little bit more complex. So yes, there will be job loss, job reallocation. Maybe that's the way to frame it, so that there are certain skill sets that you will now need to add on to whatever you're currently doing. And I've heard some experts even saying things along the lines of like low value, low task jobs from that perspective. And there's still a lot that they're figuring out, which is why it's like everything is so new. So instead, some people are along the lines of like, I'm going to wait till the dust settles. I'm going to wait until they figure it out. No, don't do that. Get in now. Get in now.
Absolutely. And it's interesting that you say that because, that's where always learning comes in, right? It's you should always be learning. You should always be figuring out what skill should I learn next, right? And to
Right.
go back to your point, jobs is already, AI is already taking over jobs. When you go to, fast food restaurants, you can order, on the computer, you can order your tickets outside of the movie theater.
Say Walmart self-checkout line behind me
Self-checkout.
all messed up.
Listen,
So
you don't
right.
I
work
don't
for
work for you, buddy. I need somebody to come check me out. I done went around and walk around this store. I'm gonna need y'all to check me out. I don't need no, let me scan my
Yeah. So I mean, to your point, and do you think that is going to make the world more mentally lazy?
I actually think that like what Liberty was saying, I think it's actually gonna make the creative more creative.
Well, the creative.
Because you're gonna have to think. Like your daughter came in and she figured it out when the Apple text couldn't figure it out. You
Wow.
with me? Like
Wow,
I ain't gonna let that
that's
slide by, you know what I'm saying?
That's
So
genius.
it's just like you said, it's asking the right questions, experimenting. You're asking some dumb questions. So it's it really figures out how you think. And and like you said, there's so many different tools. I just learned about I got ChatGPT 4 now, so you got the capabilities to go to the Dolly, and I've been learning how to prompt different pictures and graphics, and it's like so amazing to me. And I'm like, I just got started. I got from curious. My curiosity was sparked, and it'll take you down a rabbit hole, and then you'll be in that thing. You look up, you're like, dang, I was over here to do one thing, and I'm over here making characters out of pictures that I made.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Yeah.
But it's just the like you said, just how important to you is our community being involved in the process of learning this new technology?
It's extremely important. Just going into the backstory of even how I got here. So I am first generation Canadian, Jamaican American, all of the things. My parents are from Jamaica. And I remember I was probably 6, 7, maybe at that. And at my dad's church, there was a young man a black man, who was in computer science. And so on Friday nights, they would have a youth night, and so he just came up to my dad and had said to my dad, get your kids a computer, get a computer in the home. And so my old school Jamaican father was like, educate, you must get your education. That's the big thing in Jamaican culture. So for that young man to tell my dad, get a computer, and then for me years later to be in university, but then this website web development thing, and I'm like, oh well, let me go to university and let me switch my classes, go to university at night, and then in the daytime I'm going to take this college program so I can get my web management um, certificate. And that was, and I'm a date myself, fireworks, flash, like all of that tech back there.
But
But who knew that that was the thing that would ultimately excuse me again, that would ultimately get me to Dallas to work for a national publication, to ultimately become the web director, to then go to then move to Atlanta, and like all the things because of technology. So when I say that I go hard for just the inclusion of women and black people in technology, it's because someone said to my immigrant father, get a computer, like just start there. Just get a computer in the house, and then everything else that happened after that.
Wow.
that's powerful. I know your daughter has definitely seen just the fact that he said that to your dad. Your daughter sees that because you have that. I know you have some great conversations about AI with your daughter and how you can use it at her age.
She just made I've been wanting to do a book with her for a while, and then I showed her how to use Canva, and she put together, first it was a coloring book, and she's like, oh no mommy, it's an activity book. I said, oh excuse me, because she went and put puzzles in it, put music behind it. That's my producer, my production assistant. So she's put this out there, and you all have children as well, of just like, they're built different, so they're built with this in their hands. So there's a level also of us, how do we nurture those skills so that they're prepared for what comes next after their next, not even our next, their next.
Absolutely. I mean, that right there, I mean, you just said something. When the next generation, the future, it's important for our kids to really grasp all of this information right now. So they'll be at an advantage, in the future.
If not anything, have be on an even playing field where they're not getting left behind and they're like, oh, did you hear about this new thing they have? Man, they've been using ChatGPT since 2020. What did you talk about? And it's 2045. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? It's
And we
like,
see more tech schools now as well.
yeah, it's a
Right,
conversation,
right.
like a normal conversation, and not, foreign. So I just love that you're saying that, and now it's a conversation that we can have at the table with our kids. Me and my kids were in here the other day, and we were playing around with Dolly and
Yeah.
and Midjourney, and seeing how we can change our character to a Pixar style animated character, and we looking at them,
Nice.
but that don't look like you, Dad. But okay, tell them to do it again and do it again. When they do it,
That's so
I've noticed that when they do it the third time, it kind of look like you. So it's just playing around with that. And like you said, that's something that is going to go on from generation to generation. Who knows what that will open up? Just by that guy telling your dad, get your kid a computer. Now you're telling your daughter, hey, learn this AI. I tell this my daughter all the time, man, you need to learn that AI. I'm not saying it
right.
just a parent. I'm just telling you because I know, I can tell this is where things are going to go. So
Right. Can I go back to something that Shamika said earlier? She asked the question of, if, is it going to make us lazy or just our sensibilities, if it will change. And to that, I'm like, it depends. Because to a degree, yes, with us scrolling social, the mindlessness part of tech, there's some of that element, but there's also the okay. Because you've seen it. I remember doing a couple posts of like, can we stop using the word unleashed and unlocked? I know you were in Chat GPT with those, with those words. So yes, it's gonna have to push us, and not just the creatives. It's gonna have to push everybody, because we all now, to a degree, have access to all of this data, and so our unique voices are going to make a difference. So how you're prompting something, I might use the exact same prompt, but I change one word, and boom, this is like something completely putting me in a different stratosphere. So our ability to it's going to force us to have to step up, like everybody, but then also us. AI needs our voices. It needs our creativity, so that these images that are out there, because very much now I did a chat GPT challenge last year, which was like phenomenal because of all of the learnings that came out of it. And just to even prompt it to give a just a visual representation and looking for the imagery of a black woman, it was horrible. Like horrible, and I'm saying that really mildly. So the more we're creating, the more these models are being trained. And if we're not, then what is that saying about the story in the hands of the hunter will always tell the story? So if we're not involved, then it's going to continue to, okay, what does a black person look like, and some, random photo that has nothing to do with the culture.
Yeah.
I definitely done that on one of those programs and came back. I'm like, that ain't me.
That ain't.
That why I look like a white guy. I'm just saying, I don't got no crew cut or nothing. I'm bald. What's
Let me
up?
rephrase the question. Let me rephrase this.
So I know
the data,
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, to your point, data is key.
Yeah, that is definitely
I mean, now in this era, data is definitely essential.
for sure, for sure. So my question for you, I know we didn't talk about ChatGPT and I wanted to know what are some tools that you've seen coming out lately that would be definitely instrumental to entrepreneurs moving forward.
Yeah, so
Hey you guys, it's your lady Tramika, and I know that you are enjoying the episode. But however, why don't you have life insurance? You've been thinking about getting life insurance for how long? You've been putting it off for how long? No worries, I'm gonna get you right. Click on the link below and I am gonna run you and your family a free quote so that you can protect your family, you can protect your assets, you can protect your business and what is of value to you. All right, no GoFundMe needed. I am protected. Click on the link below to get your free quote. Back to the episode.
What are some tools that you've seen coming out lately that would be definitely instrumental to entrepreneurs moving forward?
yeah, so straight up Microsoft. It's interesting. So ChatGPT is created by OpenAI. However, one of the largest investors in that is Microsoft. And so Microsoft, the same around November when OpenAI had their dev day, then Microsoft also had theirs. And just in the past week, I think it was even last week, they've released Copilot, which is their AI assistant. And so when you look at this is now really getting into the business realm. And while we've had fun with ChatGPT, the Bings, and all of that, but using Copilot now, this is where you get into that level of it's integrated with so many other products. People who are still using the business world, what is it? PowerPoint, Excel, Word, even though Google has the equivalents and a lot of people do use that. But when you think about from a global perspective and the way the business world, entrepreneurship, that's where those elements are. So for anyone who is looking at even just jobs, because I know we are talking a lot about entrepreneurship, but if you're a consultant or if you are still within an organization, understand how that works because that's one of the tools, the language in the business world. So that would like hands down one of the largest things. And prompting. So we touched on it a little bit, but prompting is not going anywhere, and it's across the board because it doesn't matter if you're using Dolly, if you're using Canva, if you're using Midjourney, and those are more on the creative side, Adobe. And I would also say, when you say tool wise, paying attention to what's happening with Adobe. A lot of people who use Adobe Premiere or Photoshop. Well, Adobe's whole suite is Firefly, so that's their AI suite of tools. And what's important when it comes to Adobe is the fact that they're trying to make sure that they are fair and that they are who owns it. That's still a question that's out there, that who owns the creative, because if it's being generated by data, if it's being generated off of other people's IP, so let's talk about it. Prompts, depending on if you find it, that's somebody's IP, that's their intellectual property of how they crafted that. So a lot, that's one of the things that, and that's a whole other conversation that's happening out there, is like ownership. But by understanding how to do those things, that's already put you a leg up on those who are not in the space or who are not using it. So paying attention to, I say, those two companies.
Right, I'm talking about we need to get a whole AI lawyer. Hey, ChatGPT, can you make me a lawyer for y'all, for yourself, to protect my
Right.
You know, and business owners, they're still, especially aspiring business owners or even just new business owners, they're still trying to figure out how they can use AI.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, how they can incorporate AI into their business to elevate their business. So just speaking to the newly entrepreneurs that is learning how, or that's building their business,
Yeah.
what advice would you give them when it comes to utilizing AI and elevating their business?
Yeah. So YouTube University is your friend. And I'm not being facetious with that, because there are lots of tutorials out there with people having different hacks. I have tutorials out there, and on social. TikTok is also a great place learning. But think about the things that cause you a lot of mental stress, let's say, because that's one of the things that, where when you're using a chatbot, that it can do, I mentioned that a little bit earlier, of like the lower level tasks, so that you can really focus. So you sitting down to craft an email, well, if you are constantly sending outreach emails, well, setting up a chatbot that all you got to do is have these requirements of like, okay, here's the project, put it in the chatbot and have that spit it out for you, because you have templates. You know, when you go into a tool like Canva, oh, that's such a great example. So when you think about Canva, it's like, okay, I want to make a flyer. You go into Canva, you scroll and you look for the flyer and you swap out the information. Same thing. So that task, if it's email, if it's social media, if it's the video script, those tasks that it's like, oh, that causes me a lot of stress. Well, get some of those samples that you've done in the past, put it into the chatbot. So now you've set up some automation so that you're not starting from scratch each time. Because when you start from scratch, it's the anxiety of having to do the task. It's then the, oh, now you're procrastinating. And then it's just not something that's fulfilling. While if you have set up that some sort of automation, then now you can provide better customer service. And that's another one. So the just the task that you don't want to do, and anything customer service wise, if it's your FAQs on your website, or if it's just having a chatbot on your website, so that can decrease some of the phone calls that you get, or a chatbot connected to your messenger on whatever platform you have, so that again, that's taking away some of the tasks from you, because as an aspiring entrepreneur or as a new entrepreneur, you're being pulled in so many different directions. So when you can save time so you can really focus on those more high level tasks, like that is a win. Time is life.
You guys, it's your lady Tramika, and I know that you are enjoying the episode right now. But however, if you are not a part of the community, How You're Learning High Life Book Club, make sure that you go and join the community. It's a community where we get together every single day, Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock noon, and we read, y'all. We read books that's gonna take us to the next level in our journey. So join the community. Facebook, it's a private group, all right? How You Learning High Life Book Club. And I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Back to the episode. Yeah, absolutely. So for the ones that's been shying away from ChatGPT, absolutely, it can definitely help grow your business. You just have to learn it. And like how you just said about going to, an event, going to different mentorship masterminds, you're able to, capture this information where you can use it to your advantage and learning new skills, learning things that's going to really, help you throughout life, not only in your business, but in life in general.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
What would be
Exactly.
what you think would be a healthy diet of intake of AI? Because like I said, we can go down that rabbit hole and we look up and we like, man,
You gotta control that thing.
What to be productive to really see your progress? What would you think would be?
I almost want to say you're asking the wrong person. But a healthy dose. But in what regards though? Because I'm confident most of your audience, they are entrepreneurs. So they're always looking at productivity and how to either save time, save money, those types of things. The other side of looking at AI is more the personal. There's some people, there were so many stories that came out early on of people who used it really as a coping mechanism. Like I've heard people who trained a chat bot to be like their boyfriend or to be their husband. So when you say something, yeah. So when you say like that healthy dose, that's where my mind goes. And that's more than just using the technology that has some other underlying issues. So to bring it back and just any technology, you need to take breaks. So get up and walk, go get some fresh air. So I don't know if there's necessarily, so if you are not living life, I think that would be, oh yeah, you've definitely in excess. So
Time management. And that kind of goes back to you using AI, and don't let AI use you.
Girl, you better say that.
Listen.
You better say that.
Wait. You need to say that one more again.
Seriously, because like you just said, we can get caught down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to use AI properly, then AI is going to take over you, and that's when things get kind of crazy.
Girl, I'm over here like, can you say that one more time?
You use AI. Don't let AI use you. Okay.
I'm talking about that need to be the title of this podcast right here. Like, goodness gracious. Like, I was not
so
y'all. This was not scripted because that just blew me. I'm over here like, I need to write me. And I'm like, okay, all right.
And that goes too with even as techie as I am still very conservative in many ways. Like when I just did a prompting workshop for content to just help people as they're using ChatGPT and how to prompt to get the right imagery and whatnot. And even when I start people off, I say, okay, so it says that when you sign up, you can just attach it to your whole Google suite, or you can use Google or whatever the different ways that you can connect it and authenticate your account, or you could just do email. Please go ahead and just do email. Why are you going to invite this large database into access into all of those things? So there's still things that I'm very conservative about, and the information that you put into it, because remember, especially if you're on the free version, but just like all of them, you're putting data in, and this is now being stored on their servers. So don't put your social, don't put that information in there. Change language if you're using it for proprietary reasons, and there's any confidentiality, change some of the words around so that it still does what you need it to do. But just like going back to the idea of critical thinking around that, because Yeah, there it is. It's a world out there. It's a world out there.
Think about it. You gotta think about the question that you're asking. You gotta think about the choices that you make.
Yeah.
So tell people what you got going on. I heard you just say you had the prompt, and I was so sad that I missed it. I wanted to be there, but I didn't make it. But tell us what you got going on coming up.
Yeah, it'll definitely be back. So I kind of rotate the workshops or the boot camps based on what people's needs are. And because there's two sides. There's the, okay, this is my heartbeat and the community and making sure that people have the resources. Because I truly believe, in my mind, the way I look at it is, as I'm teaching and as I'm helping to enlighten people and open their minds to the possibilities, part of that is like, I am investing in you. I'm investing in your business and your success, because now you go, actually, we're a few of last week or the 19th, a year ago, I did a video, Canva AI video, and how you could batch content in 20 minutes, like a month worth of content. And that post went viral. So 100,000 views. And literally, even some folks in the morning meetup is like, I saw your video and it changed everything. So now the stress of creating social media graphics, they're now like, oh no, cool, Liberty showed me how to dot dot dot, and now that's automated for them, and that's now saved them hours in, in their productivity. So just I look at myself as like a content VC, venture capitalist. And but going back to the workshop, I've got a boot camp coming up, an accelerator coming, and that is really for those who, I don't know what to post. I don't even know. I'm just trying to get clear on what kind of plan I should use, because we're still at the beginning of the year. So this is the time when people start, looking at, okay, what do I want to accomplish this year? So you're in a great position where you are, okay, you come in and we're going to walk you through. Let's look at some of your data. Let's look at how you are currently showing up online, and let's create your plan. And then when you leave, you're very clear on, here are my content pillars. Here's the kind of content. Here are the tools. Do I need to use the script? Is that something that would be beneficial to me? Do I really need to be using in video, or maybe Canva is good enough? Like, just some of the tools that will then be able to help you create that content. So that's why it's called an accelerator. So you come in one way, but you leave with a clear plan. So it's the 3-day content clarity accelerator.
Ooh,
Yes,
that's
I
not bad.
love
I was
it.
just gonna say, yes, you were one of the first, because that video you made about the bulk content creation, your video was the first one I saw. Then I started seeing a whole bunch of copycats. But your video was definitely the first. I'm just gonna put that on record right now and let everybody know that she is the vet, that she put it out first. And then everybody else started talking about, oh, I can tell you how to bulk your content create, So just wanted to let that be known.
Now, your accelerator event, is this going to be virtual or person or in person?
Virtual. So yeah, virtual, just it makes it easy, because then folks, you could be sitting in your car and just, taking in all the information, and then be able to later on the day do the activities, and then really work on your plan. So it's all about accessibility.
Awesome, love it. And we gonna post a link below in the description.
For sure,
So
for sure.
Liberty gonna give us a link, and we're gonna post it in the description.
Yeah.
I love it. This has been great. I mean, I'm sure that you all have learned a lot when it came to AI.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Liberty, for sharing all of this information. And when I tell you,
Long overdue. We've been talking about this, getting together and doing the podcast interview. So I'm so happy that we finally got her on here.
absolutely. So
I'm so grateful.
I have a question for you, Liberty. All right. So
Yes.
High Life stands for hustler, innovator, gifted, and honorable. Where we're high on love, we're high on impact, we're high on faith, and we are high on energy. Which one of those acronyms resonates with you the most?
It has to be one, right? So I'd say the impact one, because it is, for some reason, shape, or form, just my makeup is well, what's coming next? And this was said earlier too, of like curiosity. So my mind is always looking at, well, why did they do that like that? Like, even an example, Mr. Beast, who is a phenom on YouTube, but there's speculation of a deal with him and Amazon Prime. So with my media background, I'm like, so Mr. Beast is gonna create a show for Amazon Prime. Well, that really sounds like it's gonna benefit more Amazon Prime because he already like owns everything. So just the way my mind is just kept, so I'm constantly looking at, so why does and how does that work out? Ooh, you need to pay attention to XYZ, just like a lot of our conversation here today. So I would definitely say the I that's me all day, every day.
Love it.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes, yes.
Impact. And it's also related to being an innovator as well. I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
So yeah, before we get out of here, tell everyone how they can follow you on social media, how they can get in contact with you, get their content together.
Yeah, so you can head over, you can find me on social, Create with Liberty. On Instagram, it's _ Create with Liberty, YouTube, Create with Liberty, and all the tutorials. So if you're just getting started and you're trying to figure things out, there's YouTube tutorials. The Instagram has all the hacks, the InShot, whatever kind of tools that you're looking to use to just help you create quick content, because my methodology is, if you are just getting started, we need to get those reps up first. So we're not trying to make the most polished thing right now. Let's just build your confidence and get that muscle memory in, so that you start seeing the impact from your voice, because we all have a message. We all have a story to tell, and somebody is waiting for you. So the quicker that I can help you tell your story is the quicker that you can reach your people.
that's right.
I could just say you can't end it no better than that, because you feel me? Like, you guys, when I tell you Liberty is a wealth of knowledge, make sure you follow her on all social media, watch her videos on YouTube. She's very passionate about this. And if you want to learn anything about AI, you definitely want to make sure you create with Liberty. You feel me? So, yeah. So this has been another episode of the Come Join the Highlife podcast. I am Mr. Highlife Film.
And I am your lady Tramika.
So do something today that your future self will thank you for. And please don't forget to put some respect on your mind. Hey.